死なないために死ぬほど準備することなんて絵に秘めあらたことでしょう。光栄だけど買いかぶりっすよ。
Hello guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we will talk about a topic that I honestly didn't think about, which is the name of Ichigo's Fullbring power. This video will be different from the previous videos because this theory I will present to you is not my own theory but a fan's theory. He sent it to me through Twitter. When I have seen it, I found it very interesting, so I decided to share it with you guys. And by this I also opened the door to everyone who has an interesting theory or a topic that you want to share it with everyone. You can send it to me whether through Twitter or in my Gmail, and if I find the topic of the theory interesting, I will share it with you in form of video like this. But big PS, it must be your own theory from your own creativity. First, I will present to you the entire theory as it is, only with some minor additions for the narration to be consistent, and then I will give you my own opinion on it and on the subject of the theory as a whole. So our friend whose name is Detlef, I'm sorry if I mispronounce the name, I think it's a German name, right? So he says Ginju in chapter 454 mentions that Ichigo must now give his Fullbring a name. And this is what we know in the manga. Every Fullbring ability is associated with a name, like the end of the book for Tsukishima or Jackie's dirty shoes, etc. But we've never heard the name of Ichigo's Fullbring ability, and Ginju said something interesting after he stole Ichigo's power in chapter 475, which is the word Bankai. So that left says we know the Bankai is a second release of the Zanpakuto, and Ginju doesn't have one, which technically makes him unable to release the Bankai. So when Ginju said the word Bankai, his clothes changed and also the effect of holo powers on his eyes was evident. Detlef adds that the Shinigami's Bankai has nothing to do with the power of holos. That's why he believes that what Ginju released is Ichigo's Fullbring power and its name is Bankai. Rather, he believes that Ichigo used this ability in the Soul Society arc. He means the Bankai that Ichigo released in front of Byakuya, so that he sees that this Bankai and Ichigo's Fullbring power have a common point, which is that their power are embodied through certain clothes. So he says that these clothes are the power of the Fullbring mixed with Ichigo's Shinigami power. And also he adds that Zangetsu, the fake one, told Ichigo that he has always used the power of the holo to teach him new techniques, and thus says that the Bankai will be from the holo power. Also in the same chapter, the Osan will give Ichigo the real Zanpakuto. So he says that Ichigo is supposed to not even be able to release the Bankai in the Soul Society arc, because he doesn't even have a real Zanpakuto. So he assumed that what Ichigo released here is the power of Fullbring called Bankai mixed with the Shinigami power of Ichigo. And he adds in the end that even Byakuya foreshadowed about this matter. So he said about it how it is possible for this little thing to be Bankai, and that's the theory of Detlef. First of all, I would like to thank you for your theory. The idea in general seems good, the idea of searching for a name for the Fullbring of Ichigo, as long as Ginju mentioned this thing. And this is the first thing you have started with your theory. Ginju mentioned that Ichigo should give a name to his power. But I may not agree with you on some other points, especially the issue of whether Ginju used his Bankai or he used the Fullbring of Ichigo, that which named Bankai. For me, I see it like this. First, I agree with you that we didn't see the Zanpakuto of Ginju, but in a short flashback of him, it appears that he possessed one, but we don't know whether he hid it or he lost it. But what we are sure of it is that he has the Shinigami power. In fact, he became a substitute Shinigami because he gained that power. And the law of the substitute Shinigami was created because of him. And on the other hand, it was mentioned that Ginju was among the candidates to become Ryo, like Ichigo, because he has three powers, which are the Fullbring, the powers of the holo, and the power of the Shinigami. That's why even the issue of the formation of holo powers on his eyes, it was because he already has holo powers inside him. What I see happened is Ginju, his inner power, which consists of those three powers, was boosted due to Ichigo's power, which also contains three powers, which are holo, Shinigami, and Fullbring. So those powers made a boost to the original power of Ginju. Secondly, if we go back to the scene of Ginju's release of the Bankai, we will see that Ichigo commented on this issue and said, "Oh, I forget that you were a former substitute Shinigami," meaning that you, Ginju, are also able to release Bankai because you already has the power of Shinigami. Here, if Ginju was really used the name of Ichigo's Fullbring power, I think he would have said that to Ichigo, but Ginju confirmed Ichigo's comment and then he added that this is not everything, but he also has holo powers, and this goes with what I have just said. It remains only the case of Ginju's Zanpakuto. It's still a mystery because, as our friend said, it's not possible to use Bankai without Zanpakuto. And more than that, Ginju used Bankai while he's still in his physical body. So he may have either used the badge to use the Bankai, and the badge works as a Zanpakuto to fuse it with his Fullbring soul. Anyway, this particular point is still a mystery for me. Another thing, you have said that Zangetsu, the fake one, was using the power of Holo to teach Ichigo new techniques. Well, yes, he said Holo, but it doesn't mean the raw power of Holo. What Zangetsu meant is the Shinigami power of Ichigo that are manifested through the creature White, who is the Asauchi of Ichigo. And the Asauchi of Ichigo is a unique Zanpakuto, was created based on a Holo creature and a Shinigami soul. So you have to take the Holo power of Ichigo as a container of Ichigo's Shinigami power. And as I said, Ginju already has Holo powers. In the end, Ichigo is a unique case in Bleach. He doesn't have a name for his Fullbring power, and he also doesn't have a command name for his Shikai, because his Shikai is a constant release. For this, I think Ichigo is the only one who is able to say the name of his Fullbring power. No other one. Even the fake Yhwach wasn't able to pronounce the name of Ichigo's Zanpakuto, Zangetsu, because Ichigo is the only one who can say it in my opinion, and for me I don't see what is the benefit of the Fullbring power to Ichigo. I mean, Ichigo in the first place wanted to gain that power because he thought he would never come back as a Shinigami. And when he restored back his Shinigami power, the main focus of Ichigo was using the Shinigami power, and later he awakened the Blood Vein, which is from the power of the Quincy. I think it would be good if Ichigo's Fullbring power has a unique ability, like the end of the book, for example. Then I can see Ichigo using it in some kind of battles. Otherwise, I don't see any benefit of the Fullbring power of Ichigo comparing to other powers he possesses. For example, he can use his Zanpakuto Zangetsu and use the Getsuga Tensho, and in the Horn of Salvation he can use the Grey Ray Zero, which is a holo ability, and the Blood Vein can work as a defensive ability for Ichigo. And by this you can see the big difference between the Fullbring power and the three other powers. So guys, this was the theory of Detlef. If you have liked the idea of this video and you want to share some of your thoughts, here I am, just send it to me and we can discuss it together. And by this you will have your own touch in this channel as a part of it. So guys, that's the end of my video, and see you in my next video.